Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Precision Racing League's PS4 American F1 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hoodius. Out there on Twitch, and you know me as Old Man Hood. And as you can tell by the beautiful buildings in the background, the high mountains, the flags, the grandstands, tonight we are at Monaco. It's a track that everybody loves to fear. For those new to the stream, after the amazing broadcast we had last week, just to give you a little hint about Monaco, as the guys are starting to hit the track now, we're going to ride along with Forza for just a moment, just to show you there is really not much room here on the streets of Monte Carlo. Like, this is going to be a test of will for the drivers tonight. Who has the patience, who has the control, who has the perseverance to stay consistent all night, to keep it out of the guardrails, to keep the wing attached, to stick to their pit strategy, not go off their game, not be distracted by other cars with nowhere else to go, and be able to take home this prestigious trophy tonight. Alright, not a shock at all, with just 12 minutes to go and traffic during qualifying a huge issue here at Monaco. We see almost the entire field is out there right now. We only... Let's see, we still have 5 guys who have yet to leave pit road. Other than that, we've got 12 drivers out there right now trying to get their space, trying to get as much track position as possible, and then be able to lay down the best lap. Qualifying is very important every week. Here at Monaco, it's tenfold. Qualifying is everything. Last season, your champion, McSended, won this race from the pole, led wire to wire, and really caught help from when his teammate Kmeps used pit strategy, had second place. Forza Alonso was on his tail the whole time, yet could not get around the second Mercedes car. So, again, getting that pole, getting that open track, it's going to be so important tonight. Now, through 5 races, we've only had 2 pole sitters. Our points leader, McSended, our defending champion. And number 2 in the points, Odoms. Those drivers are trying to keep that streak going. They both know they need to be up there if they want to take home the trophy tonight. But you cannot sleep on the other fast drivers that we've seen on the circuit. You got Forza. Nick Dahi's always competitive and looking for a podium. Last week's podium finisher, Aerostrike. We've also have Aaron Webb, who's been on a hot streak lately. It's going to be really, really tight tonight. And see, right there. It just goes to show. So Psycho was trying to let the Williams by as he was on the hot lap and got his wheels into the car. Or, excuse me, into the guardrail. Didn't look like he got the front wing, but that's what we're going to see all race tonight. There's just going to be very, very little room, and absolutely no room for error. Alright, well, everybody's getting set up. First, I'm going to go ahead and catch up on Twitch chat real quick. So, Sandman, the driver in the PRL introductory video, would be the gentleman who got me started in broadcasting. That would be the legendary Mr. Game of Jones. So, who's really just taken up to iRacing now. So, he joined me in the trucks, actually, Wednesday night. So, definitely check out his Twitch channel as well, Game of Jones. Awesome, awesome guy. Alright, now as the field's starting to set, and we see the first bit of times come out. Not a shocker, already up front. Odoms and McSended. Forza's about a second behind, but what we'll see is a lot of guys take that first lap a little bit easier, get the bank lap in. You don't want to smack the wall on your first lap qualifying. Because here's the thing as well, tire wear is not going to be a factor tonight. The street courses, it's easy to go ultras, supers, one stopper, no problem. So we might even see a driver do 2 or 3 qualifying laps on a set of ultras. If they have the track position, if it's worth it. Wow. Fantastic lap. Woody's, who's been absent the last 2 races, back with us, got work all taken care of. He's able to mingle it up. Currently sitting P1, he's looking for his first pole of the season. Now, while everybody's still out there jockeying, let's go ahead, let's talk about last week. we were at Spain. Not a shocker, there was a great battle up front. McSendit, Odoms, wheel to wheel. Both drivers were swapping wins to start the season. Again, battling last week at Spain in race number 5. See who can take hold of that chip points lead. Odoms became the first driver to blink. In turn 3, he went off course and wrecked. That gave him 0 points as McSendit went on to win the race. So, your defending champion is your points leader and now has a 28-point cushion over Odoms. And off his 3rd podium in a row, 3-time champion Forza Alonso is now up to 3rd in points. He's, after missing a race himself, he's still a little ways back though. He's 54 points back from McSendit. However, we've seen Forza in this position before. I believe it was back in Season 8. He missed several of the first few races and then went on a tear the final half of the season. There's a reason Forza is a 3-time champion and owns all the records in the Hall of Fame. So, he's coming in for a fresh set of tires. Forza will look to try to jump up in there. You see he's only 3/10 off of Woody's time. He'll try to get up there and snag that pole, see if he can claim his first win of the season tonight. Alright, we got Allhelm in here, supporting B more. And Christine, thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. And Sandman, I'm excited for that as well. Alright, we see McSendit and Ranga, the Mercedes teammates, pulling into the pits. They're going for fresh tires as well. We've got a lot of drivers out there right now. Looking at Aerostrike. Finished 3rd last week. Had an amazing last lap battle with Nick Dahi. Actually, I mean, they had an amazing battle for many laps. But that last lap in particular was fantastic. With Aero completing the overtake on the second to last turn on his way to his first podium of the season. He has yet to put in a time. He's pretty much reaching critical mass. Now, he could still go ahead and take his time on this first lap, lay down a banker, and then do a second lap on these tires and try to improve his time, try to get up in the field. Normally, we talk every week, the drivers who qualify outside the top 10, come race time, they're able to start on a tire of their choosing, a fresh tire of their choosing. So while they're in the back of the pack, you have a chance to play a tire strategy game, work that into your favor, and try to get into the points. Oh no! Chappa, hard in the wall. There goes a chunk of wing. He's going to have to pit, get a new wing, get back out there as soon as possible. But at Monaco, I mean, you'll still start on those fresh tires, but tires are not, as we talked about, they're not the biggest factor here. Track position, clean air, that is the biggest factor here. And Mac, what's going on, brother? Thanks for hopping in tonight, my man. Alright, we're still waiting for our top 3 drivers. Matter of fact, here comes a Mercedes. I believe this is going to be McSendit. Yep, McSendit is going back out. I can only imagine Woody's, Odom's, Forza. Oh, Forza's on his outlap right now. We see Forza taking it easy in the tunnel straight right now. When we went and swapped to this camera, there was a car in front of him, so Forza is purposely backing up a lot. He wants a lot of open track. Forza's just going to keep his fingers crossed when he comes around to the pit straight that somebody is not leaving the pits when he's trying to start his hot lap. And we've had a disconnection. Odoms has disconnected from the session. Now, his car is ghosted around. It's going to drive around. He'll have time to rejoin. However, I don't know, unless he rejoins quickly, he may not have time to put in another lap, which would be huge. Jackie, F1 does have safety car, however, Codemasters, they broke the safety car in F1 2017. It is not functional. At best, you can have a virtual safety car, but even that is very inconsistent and broken, so this league, well, thankfully they do ghost cars in this game when they're stuck on the track like that. But, so in this game, we run no safety cars. It really stinks because I do love the fact that it forces drivers to be on their toes, changing their pit strategy on the fly if there's a safety car involved, and we're just not having that. We're keeping our fingers crossed that Codemasters gets their stuff together, and F1 2018 will have a functional safety car system. Jacko, that is amazing. I did not know you could do that in that game. Alright, still no signs of Odoms. And at this point, I believe that's going to be it for your number 2 in points in the McLaren. He's currently sitting P3. Can't go any higher, but he can drop. Now, all the drivers in the pits, Dahi, J-Rod, Dano, they're done. There's no way they can get back out around in time to put in another lap. McSendit, he's in the casino tunnel. There we go, Woody's around the hairpin. So 3 of your top 4 are out there going for it right now. Aaron Webb's out there, currently sitting 6, seeing if he can improve on his time. Now, one thing that is nice about Monaco compared to other tracks is the start-finish line is pretty far down the pit straight. So if anybody has, if we have a close battle going into the last lap and a driver has issues coming out of that final turn, we will see a drag race. And there's Odoms in. All right, so Odoms is back in. He'll be in the race. Again, he's right now stuck in 3rd. He's not going to be able to do one more qualifying lap, so 3rd is as best as he could do, though he could drop if Forza puts down a better lap or Aaron Webb. And McSendit did put down a better lap, but you see he's still just off of Woody's time. McSendit is going again. Woody's is done. So now it's up to McSendit, and Forza just crossed the line. He jumps up to P3. He does knock off Odoms. And that's going to be it for Forza. He did not cross the line, though, before the timer. So he did not cross the line before the timer. So he's done. He cannot complete another lap. Aaron Webb is out there. He's got one more to turn in. McSendit is still going. Psycho is still going. The AIs are just driving into walls now. And Aaron Webb is done. He just crossed the line. Aaron is going to stay in 6th. All the eyes now on the defending champion. McSendit did it. He put a stamp on it at that. An amazing last qualifying lap. He takes the pole by a half second. Absolutely flying lap by McSendit. Mikhail, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for hopping in the chat. All right, and looking at the leaderboard, I believe that's going to be it, unless Bubba, who has yet to put in a lap, see as Bubba crosses the line, he might be the final driver to be able, and there he goes. So Bubba will jump up 1 spot and take 16th, and that should do it for qualifying. You see the checkered flags, the drivers in the pits, the names that are grayed out. Though, thank you to Codemasters, we're going to have to wait out this minute and a half timer. So, what I like to do during this time is let's find the AI car who's going nuts and wants to be on a murderous rampage. Normally, it's a Renault of K-Dog who is not here tonight. But the Renault of Psycho Sui is being very, very cautious. That's one way to put it, Jacko. That was a championship lap McSendit put down there. Everybody was battling around that 10.5, 10.6, as you can see with Woody's and Forza Odoms. And then McSendit runs a 10 flat. Almost a 9. Just insanity. Great lap by your points leader, your defending champion. And I would have to say I like this track a lot more with GT3 cars because fenders are a wonderful thing here at Monaco. The guys tonight do not have that luxury. Sandman already calling the shot, saying McSendit's going to make it 2 for 2, winning from the pole. 2nd time in a row now. McSendit's fast, but as we talked about, as we all know here at Monaco, all it takes is one slip-up. McSendit is alien fast, but he is human. We have seen him make slip-ups before. If he has a slip-up tonight, he will pay for it. And there's drivers that are going to jump on it. That's the great thing. And you know what? Any driver can be perfect for 38 laps. It's about that 39th lap. Making sure you don't bin it on the very last lap of the race. So there we go. Pole sitter McSendit. Woody's is going to start 2. Forza 3rd. Odom's 4th. Dahi rounds out your top 5. Aaron Webb, J-Rod, B-More, Dano, who's now a full-time driver for Red Bull. Congratulations, promotion. And Aerostrike are going to be your top 10. Psycho, Chappa, Gordell, Renga, Brian Mosser, Bubba, and Excise, who did not get to put in a lap. These drivers are all going to be able to start on fresh tires, but they're going to need a lot of help. And not only that, they're going to need a ton of patience. It is going to be pretty nuts in the start. So if you're in the back, you really have to make sure that, again, you're patient, you pick your time. Don't be afraid to slow down. You know, I never podium. I finished in, the best I ever did in F1 was 6th place. But even in that race, I knew I had to slow down, keep the car in one piece to be able to get up there. And that's what a lot of these guys in the back are going to have to do tonight. Alright, we've got our settings all set up. Why does it have McSendit and Dahi down? Oh, are there penalties, or is the game just being weird right now? Nope, here we go. Alright. No parade lap, we're getting right into it, and the lights are out. We're gonna hop. Oh, the leaderboard is all jacked up. I apologize, folks. But Forza makes a quick move. He's looking on the inside of Woody's in turn 2. Forza caught a bit of the curbing, spun the tires, able to hold it. So, your top 4 are nose to tail right now. McSendit, Woody's, Forza, Odoms. We got Dahi. Somehow listed as 14th, but really he's 5th. Aaron Webb right behind him. I apologize again. This scoreboard is completely... And Dahi just got a false penalty. 5 seconds for corner cutting and gaining position. This is not a good start to this race, unfortunately. All right, now the scoreboard's catching up. We'll have to look to see what happened with Dahi, but let's go through the back of the field. We're looking. Everybody's kind of nose to tail right now. The top 12 guys all stayed in their positions. Ranga made an early move, got around Gordell. Bubba in the Haas got around his teammate Brian Mosser. Other than that, very clean start to the race. No gaggle in turn 1. We see Woody's scraping a little bit of guardrail there. Now in Monaco, there's only one DRS zone, and that's down the front stretch to pit straight. It could present an opportunity going down into turn 1 if you get a nice run. We still got an extra lap before DRS is available. Right now, Woody's is sticking it behind McSendit, not letting him get away. Forza's keeping it tight. Odom's not too far back. Dahi lagging behind just a little bit more. We'll hop on board the Ferrari of Forza, sitting in 3rd place. A lot of understeer going on right now with these cars. Coming towards the hairpin. Yeah, and I have to give a shout out to the entire field. Great first lap by everybody. No carnage. I'm pretty sure maybe we had to have at some point had a couple yellow wings. Maybe no broken wings, but some damaged wings. But at Monaco, you can get away with that. You would be a little bit slower, but it wouldn't destroy you as it would some of the higher speed tracks. We haven't seen anybody pit yet. Alright, Woody's is falling a little bit farther back behind McSendit. He's got to close that gap if he wants DRS next time around. As I think we just saw one of the pit members smack Woody's in the face with a board. They need to bring those arms in just a little bit. Alright, DRS is enabled. We're in lap number 3. Woody's is trying everything to stay within DRS and McSendit. Oh, we have a... There we go. Our first pitter is going to be the other Mercedes of Ranga. He's coming in for a wing. And I believe he put on softs. There we go. So Ranga's going to put on the softs. He's going to go the whole distance on those tires. He's going to have to... Actually, one thing that will work in Ranga's favor is he's going to have a lot of clear track in front of him, so he can try to hot lap as much as he can on those softs. What he needs to hope for is that his pace is stronger than a lot of other guys' pace. When they make their pit stop, he's going to be able to overtake. Let's go back up front. McSendit is able to take Woody. Oh, and there's a 3-second penalty for Odoms. McSendit really aggressive on the curbing. As we see 3-second penalties, it does not take long to get the penalties here at Monaco. You try to be so aggressive on the curbs, you get a little too much curb, it catches you. Alright, at this point McSendit's now starting to put the gap on Woody's. Woody is starting to gap Forza. Odom's keeping within DRS of Forza, however, already has an early 3-second penalty. Dahi's back in 5th place. There was that 5-second stop and go off the beginning, which I'm not sure if that was real or because of the scoreboard. We'll have to look into that. And then we have another pitter. It's going to be the Ferrari of Arrow. He had to come in early. Let's look at the tires real quick. So Arrow's on the softs as well. So both Arrow and Renga are now going to have to drive their butts off and hope for the best, and that the chips fall their way and they can get some positions. As Brian Mosser has gotten around his teammate Bubba in the hairpin. Let's go back up front. It's starting to spread out. The battle for 6th place is forming, though. Aaron Webb in the Force India. J-Rod in the Red Bull. B. Moore in the other Force India. 3-car battle starting to form out. Also checking an eye on 10th place. Chappa putting pressure on Psycho Sui for that final point spot. Matter of fact, they're spreading out a little bit, so let's jump on the Toro Rosso. Trying to chase down the Renault. McSendit now over 2-second lead on Woody's. Woody's 2.7 over Forza. Very young into this race. We still have 35 laps to go. And Jacko, I was just thinking the same thing. So with Forza in 3rd place, the way he's dropping back, and Odoms is staying right on his tail. Matter of fact, there it is. The right half of Forza wing is sheared off. He has had heavy contact with the wall. But at this point, Forza has the pace to hold his position. He's dropping back from the leaders, but, nothing absurd. So Forza's just going to hold it as much as he can until his pit stop. Gabrielle, thank you so much for the follow. Very, very much appreciate it. We just had a pass. As B-More, his entire front wing is gone. So tough break for B-More, who we just saw in 8th place, battling with J-Rod and Aaron. He's coming in for a new wing. That's going to move Dano up into 8th. Psycho into 9th. Chapo right behind him in the battle for 10th. Which is now a battle for 9th. Alright, Odoms. This is going to be big for Odoms. So he's on the back of Forza. Odoms needs to find a way to complete this overtake. Odoms is sitting with a 3-second penalty right now. None of the other front leaders are. So Odoms can get around Forza and then try to start to make that gap while Forza is driving around with a broken wing. That could help Odoms cover that delta to see if he can capture a podium tonight. Odoms with a very strong run. This is the part, too, where having the broken ring will hurt you the most, though, in Sector 3. And matter of fact, Forza's in. Forza's in. That half-wing ripoff is just too much. The soft tires are out. This will be Forza's one pit stop. Here's what is the biggest risk for Forza, though. How bad is the traffic in front of him when he comes out? I would think this far into it, Jacko, I probably would have gone supers. Oh, no! There's our first oh no of the race, as the final turn has 8 Chappa. His wing is completely off the Toro Rosso. He was having a battle for 9th, and unfortunately just ate some serious wall. Now he has to be super, super careful to get her back to the pits in one piece. Alright, let's look at Forza now. He's back on the track. Forza has 5 seconds to Gorda. So he has a pretty decent amount of track, but Forza's also pretty fast. How quickly will he close that gap, and then how long does it take to fight through the field? Sandman doing God's work, busting out the oh no emote. Thank you so much, my man. Now Odoms, what he needs to focus on right now is getting a gap on Nick Dahi. if he wants to hold that podium spot. He has Dahi just outside the DRS range, so that's going to help him right now. Oh, and a killer for Forza. Forza just got a 3-second penalty. So that's Monaco, just like that. You're looking pretty, and then the world's upside down on you. But Forza, we constantly mention, a 3-time champion. He has, oh my gosh, 43, 42 race wins, 70 podiums. Yeah, he has that pedigree to him. He's just got to try to focus and recover now, put all that behind him. He still have plenty of positions to make up. He's got, everybody in front of him has to pit. So Forza's race is far from over. He can still see what he could do about maybe managing to get back up into a podium spot. Get up there and battle with Dahi and Odoms. You got a Sector 3. I believe that Sector 3 was for Bubba because that Haas has no wing on it. As a matter of fact, here comes McSendit. McSendit caught Bubba at the perfect time. Bubba goes into the pits, but McSendit doesn't even have to lose a drop of sweat on that one. McSendit now 3 seconds over Woody's. Let's go ahead now. We're about a quarter away through this race. Let's break down the field. So your pole sitter, McSendit, looking pretty early. He won here in Season 9, trying to make it back-to-back, trying to sweep Monaco in this edition, F1 2017. Woody's, he's back after a 2-week hiatus. Qualified second, currently sitting second, and sitting comfy as that. He's 3 seconds behind McSendit, but 10 seconds in front of Odoms. So Woody's looking really, really good right now. As mentioned, number 2 in the points, Odoms. He has a 3-second penalty to his name. Qualified 4th. He's got Nick Dahi breathing down his neck. Let's go back to 5th place now. Aaron Webb. Oh no! Commentator curse gets Webb in the hairpin. We saw the chunk of wing now. He still has some pieces to the right side of his wing, but the end panel has been ripped off. So this is not going to do well for the Force India driver. He's going to have J-Rod breathing right down his neck. Though J-Rod is missing the left half of his wing. This is what we were talking about, is who can keep the car consistent. We are seeing debris all over the track tonight from these wings. Though at this point, with just under 30 laps to go, I have a feeling that if these guys start pitting to fix their wings, as J-Rod is all over the back of Aaron, has the DRS, takes a peek out, Aaron has to move. Oh, there we go. J-Rod did that perfectly. Aaron got into some guardrail. Now they're wheel to wheel. J-Rod, Aaron's going to look back again. Again, wheel to wheel. Oh, no. Oh, no. The Force India spins. There goes the other half of his wheel. Thankfully, the game is ghosting him out. Other drivers are going to get by. And Aaron's going to lose 3 spots as he falls back to 8th. This has to be a pit stop now for the Force India driver with his front wing completely gone. I think at this point, though, any driver who's going to pit and fix the wing might as well throw super softs on it. I don't think soft tires are going to be that much more of an option anymore. Just a heartbreaker for Aaron Webb, who was sitting pretty in the top 5. Now this is going to hurt for Forza. Forza is caught up to Gordau, who is stuck behind Aaron. And there's just nowhere for Forza to go right now. Aaron, with that damage, he had to cut the chicane, let the drivers by. He didn't want to risk causing another accident. Forza, though, has to get around Gordau if he wants to get back up and contend when everybody else has to pit. Oh no, Psycho had issues. Or that wasn't Psycho. It looked like a Renault. I'm not sure what driver that was there in the final set of turns, but... And Aaron is in. There's a new wing. And actually, Aaron is not going to take the gamble. He's going to go on softs. And as all that craziness happened, as Jacko pointed out, Odoms has had issues. The wing is beat up. And not only that, he has a huge gap. Oh, now we got a Sector 2 yellow. Trying to go through the field to see what it was. Monaco is starting to take over, and I believe this time it was Bubba again. No wing on that Haas. and he has a long way to limp it around. All right, McSendit has put his teammate Ranga a lap down early. Dahi, due to Odom's issues, has taken over third place. Hopping on top of the Wims. Now, Dahi's wing looks pretty good. It may be a little on the right side. It's kind of hard to tell from this point. But Dahi's sitting pretty right now in third. He's 16 seconds back of Woody. However, he's almost 10 seconds ahead of Odom. So, if Dahi does have that 5-second hold in the pit stop because of whatever issue the game had in the beginning of this race, Dahi is going to be able to cover that gap. J-Rod now. We know he's missing that left half of the wing. He's got that Red Bull out there nice and pretty, though, trying to close that gap on Odoms. So J-Rod possibly looking to mix it up for 4th place. Huge shout-out, too, for Dano. Again, he's driven in a couple races this season as a reserve driver. Shout-out to Zeusman. Unfortunately, had to drop out of the league due to work reasons. And Dano has taken over the seat in the Red Bull and is making a really good run at it. Alright, so Forza has actually made a double overtake. He's gotten around Gordau. He's gotten around Psycho. So Forza's now up to 7th with 4 seconds of clean track in front of him. Alright, let's go back to the field. The battle for 11th. We've got B-More closing in on Arrow. Both drivers had to pit early for wing damage, as Ranga again has to pit. Tough break for the other Mercedes driver. Hey, Gabrielle. Yeah, we are the Precision Racing League. Actually, Hootspot up there just threw out the link. The Precision Racing League, we have leagues on PC, Xbox, PS4, across all the popular sim and racing games. There's really heavy involvement in iRacing. Here on the American side of the PS4, we do F1 on Tuesday nights. We do GT3 on Project Cars 2. We have 2 NASCAR Heat Leagues. So, by all means, or whatever console, wherever you are in the world, there is a chance we have a league for you. So, by all means, hit the link, sign up. It is free to race. So, obviously, some of these leagues are established, so it might be first come, first serve. But, nobody is required to pay to race. And as for the league distances, it really depends per game. You'll find out more often than not the leagues go for about 45 minutes. So here in F1, that means we run 50% races. Alright, now that I mentioned that, so McSendit, as we just noticed, his lead has jumped up huge. That is because Woody's has pit. The Ultras are off, the Super Softs are on, and he managed to still come out in front of Nick Dahi. So great pit stop for Woody's. Lots of empty track in front of him. He's got the fresh tires. We'll see now if Woody's can go ahead and capitalize on this. Can he close that gap a little bit so when McSendit comes into pit, can he, Woody's was, 3.5 seconds back before the pit stop? We'll see what that delta is like after McSendit ends up pitting. McSendit is coming up on some lap traffic now. As a matter of fact, McSendit's coming in. Oh, and what's killer for McSendit is the lap cars in front of him are coming in. Had McSendit know that, he may have tried to stay out for one more lap. And Gabriella, yeah, we do have normally a full field of full-time drivers. However, life happens. Some guys miss from race to race. That's why we have guys on wait lists or a reserve list to fill in when there's a spot needed. So, for instance, tonight, we have 17 drivers in here. We do have 20 full-time drivers, but a handful of them have, vacations, school, finals, whatever it may be. And we have a couple of reserve guys who jump in. And that's pretty normal across all leagues. And there we go. So what helped Woody's out was the lap car situation with McSendit. So the 3-second lead is now down to 2. However, Woody's has a lap car in front of him that he needs to get around. Luckily, as the Sauber smacked the wall there, Woody's is going to catch him at a really good point and lose minimum time. He'll lose a few more tenths, but overall the pit stop did help Woody shave off maybe about a second or so on McSendit. Now let's go ahead and open this up real quick. So our top 2 have pitted. We still need Dahi, Odoms, J-Rod, and Dano to pit. Forza sitting in 7th. Forza is going to look to jump maybe up to 4th once everybody else pits. Now, Monaco is a super short pit lane, so we're not going to see the long time. And now Nick's in. Nick is in. So you don't make up as much time here as you do at some tracks. However, if you have to change that wing when you come in for the tires, that'll be the gap that Forza could use to get the spots back. All right, Dahi served the penalty, got the fresh tires. We see Dano in the background. He's in the pits now. Forza has overtaken Dahi. That's huge, and by a pretty big margin at that, too. So that's sitting great for Forza. Forza has J-Rod and Odoms. Odoms driving around on that broken wing. Honestly, I don't think Odoms can afford to be out there any longer. He needs to come in this time and pit. Because at this point, Forza is covering that delta easily. Forza is going to jump back into 3rd place as soon as J-Rod and Odoms pit. And I'm not sure why you're getting that message. I'll have to double check on that website. It's definitely not a faulty website. I apologize if your web blocker is having issues with it. We'll look into that. Also, mid-pack, Psycho and Gordau sitting 7th and 8th. They are going to have to pit as well. These drivers have been pretty close proximity to each other this whole race as is. The Renault of Psycho, the Toro Rosso of Gordau. Gordau jumping in as a reserve tonight. And here we go. There's J-Rod and Odoms pitting, and there's Forza up into 3rd. So it did work out in Forza's favor. And not only that, too, with a pretty big gap. Forza is looking pretty right now. He has over 7 seconds on Dahi. The only problem is due to the wing breakage and the pit stop, and we got a Sector 1 yellow. Let's go through real quick. Oh, no. That is the Red Bull of Dano facing the wrong way. He's ghosted out. But, that's the thing. You have nowhere to go. He's got to get it turned around before the game disqualifies him. You see he's taking like an 8-point turn here to get the car pointed straight. And Dano, just like that, drops from 8 to 12. That's Monaco. This is what we were seeing all race. One mistake is so costly. And now we have a gaggle. Brian Mosser is yet to pit, but he's got Aero and B-More breathing right down his neck. And we have a Sector 2. Yellow. Oh, that's going to be Dano again, I believe. I saw Red Bull on the wall, yes. There goes the other half of Dano's wing. So just a horrendous slap for the Red Bull driver. He's definitely going to have to bring it in. Now, Woody's is losing a little bit of time to McSend it. And now Gordau comes into pit. He's going to relinquish 5th place. So Woody's is showing a little bit better pace on this super soft tire compared to the ultra soft. McSendit's not pulling away like he did before. But just like that, Woody's had one bad pull turn, and then boom, McSendit just jumps it by a half second. So now it's all about consistency and keeping your cool. I believe the Sector 2 and 3 yellows is Dano trying to get back around and just getting out of everybody's way, and he's around again. 3 spins in 1 lap for Dano. Tough break. He was having such a promising debut race as a full-time driver, and it all got shot in 1 lap. Alright, the Haas of Brian Mosser. That can't be right. He can't be on softs this late in the race. Brian Mosser is on softs this late in the race. I know Tire Wear is normally not a friend of Mr. Mosser, but that is a very intriguing call. Alright, now that everybody has made at least one pit stop, and now the race is official, let's break down the field. So McSendit, your pole sitter, your points leader, sitting 4 seconds above Woody's. Woody's has a 30-second gap back to Forza. Forza did qualify 3rd. He broke a wing early. He had to pit early, jump on the softs, had really nice pace on the softs, had some pretty good amount of open track, and that worked out in his favor as Nick Dahi and Odoms and J-Rod all had issues, and that allowed Forza to retake 3rd place after the pit cycles. Now, Forza does have a 3-second penalty, though. He has got to get some space on Dahi. But Dahi's on the super softs. Dahi has the tire advantage. Odom's 12 seconds back of Dahi. Also has a 3-second penalty to his name. J-Rod is trying to stay within that delta. We've got a Sector 3 yellow. Alright. Oh, it was Forza. Forza was the Sector 3 yellow. The wing is completely gone. Oh, no. So Forza now is going to get supers on. Get a new front wing. Ah, oh, just a heartbreak for the Ferrari driver after making what we thought was going to be a miraculous recovery to get the podium back. Oh, and we just... There it is. There's our first victim. We've had a lot of guys in the wall, but now we've got our first terminal. It's going to be the NASCAR veteran Excise. Unfortunately, has bended over in Sector 3. So tough break for Excise as that left tire just goes, has its own funeral, buries itself in the track. Arrow Strike and B more. Still nose to tail. These guys have been on each other for at least a good 10 laps already. Still going. Hey, Paper, I'm sorry I missed your message earlier. The Miami Grand Prix, I think the proposed layout is very interesting. I actually live over in Tampa, so I'm not against having a Grand Prix 4 hours away from me. I would happily make that drive. So I'm excited to see if they can do it the right way. Now, granted, I wish it would be another actual circuit and not a street course, but beggars can't be choosers. And Sandman, you have missed a ton, my man. So... we've had all kinds of craziness happen. We just had our first DNF. Broken wings left and right. Forza ate another wall. He had a pit after it looked like he was going to get a podium position. So, there's all kinds of up and down craziness. And so we have more people asking about the league. So, yeah, for the F1, what we actually end up doing is trying to follow the schedule. Now, obviously, we don't have the many weeks in between, but we try to follow the real F1 schedule in order. That normally means, depending on how many tracks there are, maybe we can get through 2 whole rounds. Like this game, we should be able to get to 2 whole seasons. Once the season expands out to like 22, 23 races, maybe not as much. The second season might have to get some races chopped off of it. However, we race a good 40 times a year here in this. But you never know as well. Like we said, I mean, we do have a lot of full-time drivers. We actually, at 1.2, had so many drivers, we had a second division. And if it got that popular again, we would absolutely do it. As a matter of fact, our European PS4 colleagues of the PRL have 2 completely full divisions, and it's absolutely astounding what those guys can pull off over there. Alright, Nick Dahi now looking very nice in 3rd place after all the craziness that he was involved in and what happened in front of him. Extend it sitting pretty. Woody's enjoying a nice cushion himself. So really, we just got to take it back to this Force India right now. We're going to hop on with B-More as he's trying to chase down Aerostrike. As they have both been put a lap down. So McSendit has all... we only have 6 drivers right now on the lead lap. McSendit is just setting an amazing pace right now. And we're looking at the tire disadvantage. B-More... we're seeing Aero starting to pull away a little bit. However, can Aero make those ultras last until the end? We know B-More's good on these softs, as he has a little love tap there with the guardrail. Passing the section where, unfortunately, we saw Excise bend the car. Whoa! Big time wheel spin on acceleration there. Great counter steer. Great save by B-More. But it's going to cost him a chunk of time. Still within DRS though. Trying to stay as close to the Ferrari as possible. Waiting for a slip up so he can pounce. And we just had an overtake. Again, Gordau and Psycho Sui have been battling for so long. Very tight action in turn 1. We see a little wheel-on-wheel contact there. Tends to happen here at Monaco. Nothing dirty, just good hard racing. Psycho is going to take 9th spot from Gordau. Both drivers in the points right now. At this point, though, after staring at each other all race, probably a little bit of a machismo moment going on. Seeing who could cross the line in front of the other. Oh, tough break. Aaron Webb back in the pits. So after 3 very strong races in a row, unfortunately Monaco has gotten the best of Aaron as he's had to make multiple pit stops now for wings on that Force India, and this is going to take him out of the points. Aaron's going to need some help if he's going to finish in the points for tonight. Alright, let's go back up to the other Force India as B Moore. Not sure what happened there on the final. Oh, hold on 1 second. We've got a Sector 2 yellow. And I believe that would be Bubba. I don't know if maybe that was just Bubba getting out of the way that brought out that quick yellow, but doesn't seem to be any damage on that Haas. There's a lot of cars very close on the track, however. This is the only real battle for position that we have going on. Actually, I say that as Forza has closed in on the back of J-Rod. Forza on the fresher tires. However, that really doesn't mean too much when you don't have any room to make a pass. We'll see, though, if he can pressure the Red Bull driver into making an error, and Forza try to capitalize on it. Forza super close to the back of the Red Bull. Forza's already had to change 2 wings. Just a little bit of wheel spin there out of Forza. He's closing in, but yeah, it was way too dangerous. He had to back out of it. That's what we were talking about earlier. Who has the patience? Forza's showing it right now. Now he makes a good look, makes a good clean move, and he's going to take 5th. That right there is a superb pass on a track that's very hard to pass at. So great job by Forza, and great job by J-Rod as well. Like, knowing the situation at hand, giving the space needed, still competing hard for the spot, and keeps it clean. Though J-Rod, again, as we saw earlier, we know he already pitted once. I'm not sure if he changed out his wing or if he said screw it, didn't change his wing, and he's still missing the left half. Alright, so move Forza back up to P5. However, this might be where Forza runs, might end. He's got 17 seconds to catch up if he wants to battle Odoms for 4th. And he only has 12.5 laps to do it. Got Sector 2 and 3 yellow. B Moore! Unfortunately, that's going to end that battle for 7th. That was highly contested. That spot where B Moore spun out, and the fact that he's messing that left half of the wing, the only thing I can think of is he cut that corner a little too sharp. And yeah, he's got to come in and replace the wing. Tough break for B Moore. He may have cut that fast left or too sharp, clipped it, and it whipped him around. Now, while B Moore is going to drop a few positions, he should potentially stay in the points. Yep, he's leaving. Brian Mosser is coming on the front stretch. It's going to be a bit of a drag race. So Brian Mosser will take 10th. B Moore is just now leaving the pits. B Moore, though, is going to have fresh ultras compared to Brian's softs. So he will have the tire advantage, but he's also going to have to catch up 8 seconds for the Haas driver. Unfortunately, both Force India drivers having a rough go here at Monaco tonight. Though 2 drivers so far having a good race if they can hold these positions. We got Gordau sitting +5 Brian Mosser as well sitting +5. Both guys trying to go for the hard charger award for the race. Let's take it back to the front. McSendit trying to make it 2 in a row here at Monaco. Trying to win from the pole both times. In fact, let's take a look here too. McSendit trying to make it a hat trick as well, as right now he has the fastest lap of the race. Oh! There is DNF number 2. The Haas of Bubba. That car just got a mercy kill, unfortunately. It completely destroyed. Nose first into the barrier. There goes the tire. Digging itself a grave. Tough break for Bubba tonight. And while that happened too, Gordau had to make another pit stop. So now Gordau has fallen down to 11th place. 5.5 seconds behind B-More. Both drivers on fresh Ultras. Matter of fact, B-More has caught up to Brian quickly. We'll hop on with the Force India driver. And actually up top, Odoms is starting to catch up on Dahi. Now we know for sure Odoms has a 3-second penalty. I do not believe Dahi does. So Odoms is going to have to make the overtake and cover that gap. Who's the Sector 2? Oh, it's still Bubba. They still haven't gotten that car off. Get the crane out there. Come on, Stewart. Alright, so B-More right on the back of Brian Mosser. Now, B-More has to be very careful because Brian's on some medium worn out soft tires. So his braking point is going to be, earlier than what... And as a matter of fact, now Brian's starting to bounce a little bit. Looks like a little bit of a lag issue. So now B-More's going to have to be even more careful. Gets into the back of him, but it was a square hit, so no wing damage for B-More. This is just the absolute worst. And nothing against Brian, but his, connection. It's the worst for any online racer because now you don't know where the driver is. And you're trying to anticipate a move that you don't know if it's there or not, but it looks like Brian, that wasn't a lag spike. Brian just got into the wall right there. So B-More can have a huge sigh of relief right there. He got around Brian, now he has clean racetrack. Gordau now, though, closing heavy on the Haas. Gordau's on those fresh Ultras. And unfortunately, when he catches up to Brian, Brian with pretty bad wing damage and a connection that's maybe not the most stable right now. While that's happening, let's go up front. Because Odoms is all over Dahi right now. Which I'm not sure really... Dahi's wing looks intact, so I don't know if he's just being conservative with the tires or if Odoms just is feeling super comfy right now. Alright, Dahi gets a run through the casino. Let's jump back to Gordau real quick. This is a battle for the final point, 10th position. The last points paying position. Same thing, Brian's going to get a better run. This is where it got him last time, though. A lot smoother that time, though, for Brian. Gordau's not going to have it as easy as B-More had it. Let's go back up top. Again, on the McLaren, chasing down the Williams. Battle for the podium, but the real battle would begin if, as a matter of fact, that was the left wing of Odoms right there. I didn't think they were close enough a touch. I don't know if there was a little bit of netcode involved in that or what, but Odoms now is running on half wing. The left side is gone. Just in comparison to Nick Dahi's, you can see the fins are off that side of the wing. So, tough break for Odoms, who would have to overcome a 3-second penalty anyway. Alright, let's jump back now. The Toro Rosso of Gordau. The Haas of Brian Mosser, the battle for 10th. Brian on some worn soft tires, Gordau on maybe a handful of laps on his Ultras, so still pretty fresh. Gorda has the tire advantage. Brian's got the track advantage. Unfortunately, both are at the disadvantage due to this connection issue right now. Aaron Webb, not too far. Oh, and that's a killer for Gordau. Gordau just got a 3-second penalty. I'll say Aaron Webb back in 12th, trying to close in on this battle. Oh no. So a big lag spike there out of Brian caused some wheel-to-wheel contact. Gordau's wing looks okay. Thankfully, neither driver seemed really negatively affected by that, though really scary moment. Oh, big teleport there for Brian Mosser. I'm not sure. Wow. Again, thankfully, both drivers, neither look really that affected. I mean, Brian has the wing damage, but that was from before. Gordau gets by unscathed, so give Gordau 10th place, and now he's looking to try to gap the Haas as quick as possible. So hopefully lag does not come into play again. And matter of fact, yeah, so now going back to the battle of third, with that broken wing, Odoms is a bit of a sitting duck now. Dahi, and Odoms gets another penalty, as Dahi is starting to pull away. The one thing that's working in Odom's favor right now, though, as he gives, that was a little bit more than a love tap, but as he gets a bit of the wall there, though, is he has 18 seconds on Forza. So even with a couple penalties, we have it 2 and 3. Oh, there's no wing on Psycho. Ah, heartbreaker. Very late pit stop for the Renault driver. So we got a battle forming between Dano and Ranga for 13th place. The Red Bull trying to chase down the Mercedes. Speaking of Mercedes, we're taking it back to the front. Mick Sendin, your pole sitter, led wire to wire. He is trying to put on an ultimate hat trick right now. We know he has the fastest lap. We'll see if he's able to hold that with a lot of guys now coming in at the very end, having to change their wings and get fresh tires. Their cars are at their lightest, so if they have the rich fuel to burn, seeing if they can maybe steal away the fast lap, as Brian Monster did last week at Spain. A late pit stop, takes the fastest lap, denies the hat trick. We'll see if anybody's up for the test this week. 5.5 laps to go. Sandman, thank you so much for the coins, my man. Very much appreciated. We got to give a shout out to Woody's. McSendon's been dominant, but Woody's has been just as dominant, just maybe a little bit slower is all. He's held second all the way through. Has never given it up. Just, like I said, he's missed a couple weeks due to work. Just having a great bounce-back performance, and that's going to be the Toro Rosso of Chapa. That sector 1-2 yellow. Just a quick whip around. He lost his wing, able to get it pointed straight again. All right, Dahi in the Williams in third. Pitted once for wing damage. Has this wing intact. Was seeing tremendous pressure earlier by Odoms until Odoms broke his wing. And that's kind of cooled down the podium battle. Though Forza is making a late charge. We were talking about with... Oh no, Odoms is disconnected. This happened in qualifying as well. Now, he is eligible to come back into the race, though during this time when he is disconnected, the car is slower. You're seeing the Toro Rosso just drive through him pretty much, and Forza's catching up greatly. So, tough break for Odoms. See if he can get back in this race and salvage, but he will lose some positions if the AI has to finish this race for him. Great break for Forza. Who's going to catch a position off this, though. Forza is going to be well back at Dahi. He's going to need a slip up from one of the top 3 drivers if Forza wants to try to get back into a podium position. Now, the one tricky thing, and I should have hopped on Forza's car earlier, is whenever you have a ghosted vehicle like that, it does impair your vision trying to get into some corner entries. So while you're thinking, yay, I just drive through them, you got to be careful as well. You don't want to mess up your entry and smack a wall. Alright, looking through the intervals, everybody's pretty spread out, yet It's Monaco. You don't have to go far to find another car. But right now, McSendit... Actually, McSendit has gone around the ghosted vehicle of Odom's. That leaves just 4 cars on the lead lap. Matter of fact, there's Forza, and you'll find not too far behind him is McSendit. We'll see how thirsty McSendit is to try to make it just the podium guys on the lead lap, or if he'll just try to ride around comfy right now and secure his second Monaco win. And due to the issues in the back, so Brian, unfortunately, fallen outside of the top 10 with that broken wing. That's going to put Aaron Webb now back in position to grab a point. So we saw both Force India drivers have some issues. Oh no. Commentator curse got Aaron again as he just smacked the wall and ripped the end plate off the right half of his wing. But both Force India guys had to make late pits and recovering well enough to both be in the points. Looking at Woody. Woody coming up on a couple lapped vehicles. Though just, in his case, 3 laps to go, 2.5 to go for McSendit. McSendit is right on the tail of Forza. Forza with a little bit of wheel slip, and that's going to be it for Forza. He knows there's no need to fight this. So Forza's going to let McSendit by. Great sportsmanship there. And that's going to give us just 3 cars on the lead lap. McSendit with a lot of empty racetrack in front of him. This is exactly what he wants to see with just 2 to go. Not having to worry about lapped cars. He just needs to focus on his marks, bring her home, trying to make it 2 in a row at Monaco. Woody's just had a great run, sitting P2 right now. Couple lapped cars in front of him. Though he's catching them at the right moment because it's easiest for the lapped cars to get out of the way, as you're seeing Psycho do right now on this front stretch. Great sportsmanship here in the PRL. Serving the blue flag, you know, the best possible moment. The one thing that Woody's does not want to see right now, he's coming up the back of Brian Mosser, whose connection was fine the first 25 laps of the race, and then unfortunately has gone a little bit on the fritz. So if I was Woody's, you've got a 38-second gap over Nick Dahi. I'm not going to put too much pressure on the teleporting car of Brian Mosser. We'll see how Woody takes it. Though Brian, too, Brian will serve the blue flag. It's just a matter of, all right, great job by Brian. That's the best spot that he could do it, is serve it right there. So if there was a lag jump, it would not get in the way at all. So, sigh of relief there for Woody's. All right, Dahi. He's looking at some pretty clean racetrack. Nope, there's... I believe that it would be the Ferrari of Aerostrike right in front of Dahi right now. So Dahi just has 1 lap car. McSendit has taken the white flag. McSendit. A third of the way through the track. And we've got a Sector 2 yellow. That's not what anybody wanted to see right now, is any sectors popping up yellow. And that's going to be the Red Bull of Dano. All right, McSendit coming to the tunnel. Trying to make it a hat trick. Let's take a peek real quick. Still the fastest lap of the race. Your pole sitter trying to make it 2 in a row. All right, just 3 more turns to go. And there he goes, down the front stretch. And he's going to do it, folks. For F1 2017, that is going to be a Monaco sweep and 4 wins in the first 6 races for your defending champion, McSendit. Congratulations. Woody's. He makes it to the front stretch unscathed. That's going to be a very awesome P2 run for Woody's. Great job. Dahi, he's just now in the tunnel. He's gotten around the Ferrari of Arrow. He's looking a lot of clean lap. No pressure from Forza, as Forza is a lap down and his race is already over. So that's going to clinch the podium spot for Dahi, even if he wants to bend it in the final corner. And here he comes. There you go, Dahi. He's going to bring it home in third here at Monaco. And that's going to be his third podium on the season. So big, big congratulations. As everybody else crosses the line. Waiting for Gordau now. Gordau, his first race of the season. Really happy filling in the Toro Rosso. He's going to take 2 points home, bringing it in 9th. Congratulations. And there we go, folks. A little bit of a calm there at the end of the race, but that race definitely provided the fireworks that we knew were going to happen. And there he is. Again, 4th time this season. Up on the top step. Pointing down to a engineer who looked very high right there on the Mercedes team. And the victory champagne is out. And on top of that, one thing that just totally slipped my mind, so last week we saw Ferrari go 2-3 for a double podium. This week it's going to be Williams. So Woody and Nick Dahi bringing it home. This is going to be very well in the Manufacturers' Championship for Williams, who kind of fell back a little bit after Woody's had to miss 2 races. And as you can see, we got to get a shout out to McSendit and to Forza. The only 2 drivers that I could see, or excuse me, J-Rod, the only 2 drivers I see without a time penalty. So huge, huge grats to them. And tough break for Odoms, whatever the ghosting issue may be. Lost 2 spots. He'll bring it home in 6th, though. You can see a lot of in the back. 2, 3, 4, 6 stops for Chapa, 6 stops for Bubba, and then the DNF. It's just Monaco is not for the faint of heart. Gordau in the chat. Congratulations, bud, man. You had you probably had a little bit more excitement in that race than you wanted to see, but you brought home the points, my man. Arrow having the big sigh of relief, as pretty much all drivers are having right now that this one is over. Alright, let's get this all set up. And let's get your podium guys in a party and yap it up. Actually, first, let me go ahead and turn up the sound real quick. Got McSendit, Dahi, and actually, let me get back to the party screen real quick, see when they hop in. Gentlemen.
Yo. What's going on?
What's cracking? Alright, we got all 3 of you in here, so let's go ahead and make this official. So, the 2 guys who could probably say they had a comfortable race. We'll start with the hat trick winner of the evening. Your defending champion, McSendit, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, Woody made me sweat out. He kept the pressure
Well, let's
up.
talk about it, though. So the first bit of sweating was in qualifying. Now, granted, you won the pole by a half second, but it took all the way to the very last lap in extra time.
I know. Yeah, that was my heart was just freaking pounding, man. Like I was very fortunate to put that last lap together because I was just making mistake after mistake. I think I only had 2 clean laps, so I knew that would happen. Like in practice, I was like half a second quicker, and then once we load into the actual thing, I'm like too nervous to drive right.
Well, you drove right all night, my man, and you were only one of 2 drivers without a time penalty on it. So that is a Monaco sweep for you for F1 2017, my man. Congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, well, let's go ahead now and let's talk to Woody's. Missed 2 races due to something called real life, which I don't get, but comes back with a vengeance, man. Strong second place run tonight. Congratulations, my man.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Had a good time.
So, McSendit had that sigh of relief on that last qualifying lap. What were you feeling? Were you just sitting there staring at the scoreboard, and then when you saw him jump, you were like, ah?
Well, yeah. So I actually got blocked by B-More on the last lap there. So I was up 3/10 and I had a 10-2 with me, but that obviously wasn't going to pull anyway. So I was a little bent out of shape about it, but you know, when I saw that McSendit got that 10-0, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't even going to matter. I would have still started second regardless. Right. So it was all right. I was a little upset at the time, but when it all shook out, it wouldn't really mattered. So
you hear that, other drivers out there in Twitch land? Patience. Don't let anger get the best of you right away. Everything works out in the end. So, but
yeah, I almost threw my steering wheel out the window. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, that's Monaco. Everybody's steering wheels goes out the window. But again, my man, like I said, we know you missed a couple weeks. Great team run for Williams tonight as you bring home second. So just solid job, my man.
Yeah, I was, tonight I definitely didn't have McSendit's pace at all. I kept up with him, but then I spent the second half of the race with wing damage. So at that point, it was just trying to not hit any more walls and bring it home. And I saw that the next competition was 30-plus seconds back. So I thought about pitting, but I'm like, what if McSendit breaks a wing or something like that? I won't be there to capitalize. So
I actually did, too.
Yeah, I could tell because there was a period of time where you were pulling out like a half second, 7/10 of a second lap, and then all of a sudden it was like 2 or 3/10, and I'm like, all right, maybe he broke a wing. Yeah, me too. I went to avoid cutting corner, and instead my wing end plate took the brunt of it. So
yeah, because the second half of that gamble is, I mean, you had a couple lap cars, but you weren't like swamped in traffic. So the risk of taking that pit stop and then potentially getting in like a gaggle of 5 cars, that would be even worse. So you made the right call, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think early on I was a little better through traffic because I actually closed the gap like a few times by a second or so. And, I was back in like the 3-second range in case there was a penalty to be had at the end there. But yeah, once the wing damage happened, it was just kind of resetting to a different goal. So
good times. Well, overall, my man, you still made all the right moves and just had an awesome run tonight. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, guys. Congrats to the rest of you guys too.
All right, now one person who didn't have it as easy as their top 2, Dahi. Man, that was your fair share of action you saw back there in that race tonight.
Yeah, I saw some wing particles in front of me, that's for sure. It looked like Forza knocked one maybe around like a couple laps in, maybe like 4 or 5 laps in. Then he had to pit. And then Odom's kind of, I'm not sure what happened, he spun out. But yeah, it was kind of a slow, steady grind of a race for me. I was definitely slow on ultra softs because, as you saw, when Woody came out of the pits, he was like going to come out like right behind me. So I just kind of didn't give the car throttle and made sure he came out ahead of me. And then after that, seemed like Odoms was catching me, but then he ran into some issues. And again, I'm not sure.
Well, that one was a little bit weirder because, yeah, he was closing in on you. So we jumped on top and exiting the tunnel in that little chicane. It looked like there was clearance between the two of you, but his wing snapped. So I'm not sure if that was netcode or what, but that was unfortunately it. He broke his wing on you.
On me, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the driver's hands didn't go up or anything like that. And I could have swore I saw some gap between you guys. But yeah, it was just all of a sudden it fell off, and then that was it. He ghosted.
That's odd. Yeah, I don't know. I know I didn't feel any contact for sure. I thought he was. I didn't even think he really got within 2 car lengths
Yeah.
of me. But maybe the neck code was different. But yeah, I just had to kind of chug along. The soft pace was a little better, but man, I don't know. It was a grind, and I'm happy it's over.
That's pretty much the that's the thought of the entire league. Monaco is now out of the way. But like we mentioned before, man, for both of you Williams drivers, huge points for you. This will get you guys right back into it. So gotta be happy with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Woody had the pace here for sure. I wish I had a little more time to actually maybe do some practice with him because maybe could have got a little bit closer. But yeah, we needed the double podium after last week because the Ferrari's got a double podium. Just kind of squeaked me out of it. So got some points on them. So we should be pretty close to them again, I think. So should be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, you three survived. Congratulations. But no.